Hello everyone, and welcome to These Myths. Before we begin the video, we ask that you leave a like and a comment. Interactions help with the algorithm and help us grow the channel again. We appreciate your continued support. By now, everyone interested in video game myths, legends, secrets, and mysteries has heard of the most famous ones: Bigfoot in GTA San Andreas, the werewolf in Bully, the secret room in Batman Arkham Asylum, and so on. However, there are some you've probably never heard of. So without further ado, here are 10 creepy video game mysteries you've probably never heard about. Number 1. Disturbing behavior of an enemy. The developer of the highly praised horror game, Lost in Vivo, shared in an interview something truly chilling. While he was working on a game that never got released several years ago, he programmed a zombie to run up to the player and attack. However, during testing, the zombie did something quite disturbing instead.
It happened with a game I made years ago that was never released, but there was just this zombie that was supposed to walk up to you and play a slap animation and hurt you. And I programmed it all fine, and then when I started it, he froze the player in place. He dragged them towards him instead of moving towards them, and then he played the animation in reverse and then looped his screaming sound. And that's the most surprising thing that's ever happened and been a little startling.
It's not uncommon for enemies to glitch and sometimes exhibit unintended behaviors, and then there are moments when they do something completely unexplainable, shocking, and disturbing. Number 2. Paranormal hauntings in the long dark. In the game, The Long Dark, a survival simulator, players have shared their experiences with uneasy feelings in some locations of the game, such as the mansion in Milton, the Pleasant Valley farmhouse, and even the mines. While taking shelter there during the night, they have described the feeling of not being alone, hearing footsteps and seeing shadows. The game is intended to instill a sense of desolate isolation in its players. It was never intended to exhibit paranormal occurrences. However, players keep experiencing these disturbances, swearing that they are not alone and that something was there, watching them, and the supposedly abandoned locations. Could it just be paranoia, or is there really a companion lurking just out of sight? Number 3. The Raxxla Mystery in Elite Dangerous. Elite Dangerous is an online space combat and exploration game with heavy RPG elements. The map spans across the whole galaxy, so it is no surprise that rumors of mysteries would circle around. One of them is the mysterious Raxxla. The mystery of Raxxla has been intriguing players for years now. What's more is that no one knows exactly what Raxxla is. The biggest theory is that it is a planet yet to be discovered. Frontier, the developers of Elite Dangerous, have confirmed that Raxxla exists in the game and can be found. In fact, they said that it has been in the game since its release in 2014. What's strange, though, is that the first mention of Raxxla is within a personal journal of a shipboard mechanic, which the developers don't include as canon, but they confirm the existence of the mysterious entity. It is speculated by players that it is a portal, or a planet with a portal to other universes. Many have become dedicated to solving the mystery, but the whereabouts of Raxxla still remain unknown. Number 4. The UFO in Stranded Deep. Stranded Deep is a survival game where the player has to survive while stranded on a small island chain in the middle of the ocean by crafting, hunting, fishing, and scavenging the shipwrecks on the ocean floor. However, if explored long enough, the player can find a UFO. The presence of the UFO on the seafloor suggests that lifeforms of other worlds had, at one point, visited these parts prior to the events of the game. Due to the amount of time spent submerged in the ocean, the UFO shows heavy signs of decomposition. Number 5. The Clubhouse in Pro Evolution Soccer 4. This entry was suggested by a viewer who shared something strange in Pro Evolution Soccer 4 and pointed to a small channel where a YouTuber shared information about it. The game featured a clubhouse playground map as a training tool, so players could learn the controls of the game and do special challenges. At first, the playground map looks normal, until you decide to take a closer look. The playground is surrounded by a thick forest with some strange-looking buildings in the background, a clubhouse, and a strange-looking castle deeper into the forest. Players have said that for some reason, the map looks somewhat unnerving. Looking at it during nighttime gives an even more chilling feeling, as the clubhouse looks abandoned, and the forest looks much more sinister. Konami removed the map from future editions of the franchise after players complained that it had an eerie feel to it, and didn't fit as a sports game map. It was included in Pro Evolution Soccer 4, 5, and 6. What makes the players like the map even less is that in PES 4, the player can play exhibition matches in it, and despite the map being in the middle of the woods, crowd noises can be heard, despite having nobody there. Number 6. Fallout 76, The Mysterious Guidestones. Fallout 76 is an action-adventure online RPG specializing in environmental storytelling and player interpretation. Some locations, however, leave more questions than answers. Mysteries and rumors are not uncommon. One mystery has been on many players' minds: the mysterious guide stones in the Savage Divide region of Appalachia. Due to their unknown nature, it is speculated that they are of extraterrestrial origins. Upon closer inspection, one can see illustrations and strange markings. Players have taken the challenge to solve the mystery and have been able to decipher a few interesting clues. The sigil on each stone seems to be part of one big illustration, and when connected they seem to form a big map of some sort. There is also an entry called Mysterious Guide Stones at the Investigator's Cabin Terminal, which is locked and inaccessible. Recently, some strange unreleased files containing symbols have been found by data mining the game, and the players are trying to translate them using a strange alphabet that is believed to be connected to the mystery. The question is, what would it all lead to? Something waiting to be discovered by solving the illustrations and symbols, or is it hinting at future content? There is more to this mystery, but covering it all would require a video of its own. Number 7. Strange phone messages in Pamali, Indonesian folklore horror. Pamali, Indonesian folklore horror, is a horror game that does its story in a unique way. It has 4 chapters, and each chapter has around 30 endings depending on the player's actions. In Chapter 2, the player takes the role of Sep, a night shift caretaker of a cemetery. The player has to do tasks and would get phone messages from his boss with instructions. However, depending on the player's actions, they start to receive some really strange messages on their phone. At first, there are weird messages from friends of Sep, but then turn much darker and eerie. The atmosphere changes, the lights begin to flicker, and the messages he starts to get come from unknown senders. Where is my child? I died for him. My son. It's very hot in here. Please renounce your sins while you're still alive, unless you want to regret it. Just like us. Don't ever go blind unless you want to see me. The game never reveals who the senders of these messages are, but it is speculated by players that they are the messages from the buried of the cemetery, who become vocal if their rest is disturbed. Number 8. Ocean Hotel and Vampire the Masquerade Bloodlines. The Ocean Hotel is a location in a quest called The Ghost Hunts at Midnight, where a grisly murder happened, resulting in the closing of the hotel. The player has to retrieve a locket and leave. Many players complete the quest without dwelling too much on the mystery. The events prior to the quest take place back in the month of May 1958, when a family stayed in the hotel for a week-long vacation during the hotel's grand opening. According to a diary belonging to the wife of the family, the stay was at first a pleasant one, but as days passed, the husband Ed became distant. It is revealed later that Ed believed his wife was having an affair. He thought her newly bought locket was a gift to her from her lover. This was false, as the locket was in fact a gift from her mother. Ed's obsession with the locket grew, as by the end of the vacation he had completely lost his mind to the point he would not even acknowledge their children. On the final day, he killed his 2 children with an axe, and was planning to kill his wife next. How he killed her and what happened next, and how he died, remains a mystery. A newspaper article found in the hotel says that the case was not solved, and it was unclear if the mother or the father were the murderers. The question is, was he possessed by something, or did he simply go crazy? Well, an obscure clue in the diary says that Ed seemed to brighten up for the first time in days when he was talking to the groundskeeper, and that the axe he used to commit the murders used to belong to him. Did the groundskeeper have a hand in these murders? Did something possess Ed? Or did he simply go insane? Number 9. Unknown Singing in Silvio. Silvio is an atmospheric horror game where the player takes the role of Juliet Waters, trying to solve the mystery of an abandoned family fun park. On the first level, in one of the patient isolation rooms, an eerie, growling, incomprehensible singing can be heard. This is the only place in the entire game where it can be observed, and the game never explains or reveals the source of it. The park is abandoned and empty. The presence of the isolated patients' rooms is a mystery of their own, but what is more mysterious is the singing. Could it be from a radio, left to play endlessly to an audience of no one? Or could this be the last desperate song of the eternally damned? Number 10. The Unidentified Stars member in Resident Evil. Have you seen this photo? It's a photo of all the STARS members from the Resident Evil franchise. It can be found in the RPD station in Resident Evil 2. The photo was taken before the joining of Rebecca Chambers. There are 12 members shown. 11 of them are accounted for. Edward Dewey, Forrest Speyer, Kenneth J. Sullivan, Richard Aiken, Albert Wesker, Barry Burton, Brad Vickers, Enrico Marini, Chris Redfield, Jill Valentine, Joseph Frost, and an unidentified member that seems to have fans confused and conflicted about his identity. Some even disagree and say that the unidentified member is the one on the far left on the top roll and not the one on the bottom. Whether or not the unidentified member is on the top left or bottom left in the photo, it is universally agreed that 11 STARS members are accounted for, but there are 12 in the picture. One proposed explanation by some fans is that this is Joseph Kendo, a weapon instructor who retired. It is believed that he is the owner of Kendo Gun Shop, but not the guy in the weapon shop at the beginning of Resident Evil 2, but an owner of the same shop in a different town. The handgun that Leon starts with in Resident Evil 4 is engraved Kendo Custom Shop, indicating that he is alive and well. There you have it. 10 video game mysteries and creepy Easter eggs you probably never heard about. If you liked the video, please rate and share your thoughts in the comments. We always read them all and respond to them. The playground is surrounded by a thick forest, with some strange-looking buildings in the background. Let me redo that. Suggests that other life forms of... The presence of the UFO on the seafloor suggests that other life forms... Hang on, I gotta edit the script a little bit. Is the mysterious Raxla. Delivery was wrong on that. Konami removed the map from future Fuck! What is wrong with me? Konami removed the map from future editions. Konami removed the map from future editions of the franchise after players complained that it had an eerie feeling to it. Say that right. Konami removed the map from the... I'm gonna kill myself, hang on. Edit this a little bit. God, that was a fucking terrible... I don't know why it took me 18 times to get that right.